Language, hi brother. Yeah, so
hello my friend, how are you?
yeah, fine Alan. Hey, nice to meet you. Are you on the your live stream?
Yeah, I'm on a live stream at once.
Okay.
So we're streaming each other.
Yeah, so
I'll just pop you back here. Yes, so guys, this is Paul.
Paul Lennon here.
But do you believe in a sense that, like, ever since like we joined the euro, so like in a sense, because we have no concept of the actual value of what the euro is, like it's so easy to create inflation through that. So for example, like because the euro was such a new concept, like it's very easy to hyperinflate the prices of everything as well, like because who knows what a euro is. Like we knew what an Irish pound was, like we knew what a British pound was, like, and like because of that as well, like it's very easy to hyperinflate like cost of absolutely everything, because like we don't really have any concept of what the true value of the euro really is. Like it means nothing. Like
Yeah, you see, about Europe, it's very strange that some countries pay very low prices per diesel, you know, like Malta and Hungary, you know, which is there in the EU, 2 countries in the EU, you know, and we're paying 100% more, €2.10 at least at the moment, which is, you know, you ask yourself a question, why, you know, barrel of oil is the same price. All the countries need to buy for the same oil, the same price in the market. But by some reason, our government create a taxation policy which taxes over the top. Like to get a job now, to get to the job from home to the workplace, you're paying twice more than you paid a year ago. And you ask yourself a question, why government implementing this policy, taxation system, you know, which is deathful for our country and for our people. So we need to start using our voices, start networking with each other, you know, in every city as we can, you know, use our, the problem with people is that they're living in fear, you know, they live in fear. We need to start not living in fear, we need to have a faith, you know, like Alan, he alone came from Galway, alone, and show to people if he can do it, someone else could do it the same. In different way, different campaigns.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Hello.
Alan Sweeney.
It's Alan Sweeney here. Brother Science, you are what you read.
Yeah. So today is the 29th of June 2022, and approximately 2 o'clock 30 minutes. And we make interview here today with Alan. Alan, why do you decided to walk from Galway 1,000 kilometers journey to EU Commission in Belgium? What message are you trying to deliver to the people, to our society?
The reason why I decided to walk to Brussels is just because I believe that the root cause of the majority of the problems in Irish society nowadays is actually the EU itself. I believe that an awful lot of the policies in which they're introducing at the moment are having very severe consequences on, I guess, just the ability for us to be able to like afford a livelihood, like in Ireland. If like for example, if you look at the housing issue at the moment, it's just I don't understand how like the EU housing policies can have instant priority over the Irish housing priorities, especially knowing that we have 10,000 homeless people like living on the streets at the moment. And it's very insulting, like when you sit back and you watch TV and you watch all of these homeless campaigns for like 20 years, and then when you see a problem being solved in front of your eyes, like you have to really question like what is happening here. Like are they keeping homeless people on the street for a reason? Like are they keeping the homeless people on the street because they're making hundreds of millions of euro every single year from the homeless crisis? And that's what is becoming more apparent as time goes on, is that like fundamentally like whatever the EU wants takes priority, and it's starting to take priority over the people who are actually suffering the most in Irish society at the moment, who are the homeless. Like the House 4 times the amount of homeless citizens in this country through like Ukrainians. So there's 40,000 Ukrainians who've been housed in Ireland like within the span of like 2 or 3 months. So if you think about like how does a 20-year problem in this country become resolved in the space of a few months? Like who has control over this country? Because it just seems more and more obvious that the Irish government are only lobbyists for the EU to have very little control, to have very little power over what occurs in this country, and it's very concerning. So I just feel that I need to make people aware of how harmful the EU is to our country, and like to demonstrate to people that like the homeless crisis is very, very easily resolvable if we do things properly.
He is walking from Galway to Brussels to Belgium to create awareness for homeless people.
Yes.
His name is Alan Sweeney. He will be famous. Just remember that name. If you have Facebook,
I do.
so find Alan Sweeney.
Alan Sweeney.
Yeah, and he actually create campaign. You know, he walked today. How many kilometers you walk for the last 2 days?
Like 60 kilometers done so far, or 63.
62 kilometers in the rain, rushing.
Yeah, it's looking very
This-
rough.
he-
To be honest with you,
This guy is actually one of the founder. He's helping homeless in Dublin. He every Saturday is down at 1 p.m. His crew actually helping bring food and charity and clothes to the homeless guy. So that's him, you know, Alan Sweeney. Yeah. And where are you from yourself? Where are you from?
We just lived at that house.
Yeah. What do you think about?
We were coming from Athlone and we see
Yeah. We.
keeping an eye on him.
Yeah. What do you think about the current prices of the fuel of diesel and petrol?
Oh, expensive.
Very expensive.
Very expensive, yeah.
It's electricity prices increased by 100% as well.
That's true.
Standing charge from 20% to 45 now per day. You know, and look at the fuel prices. €1.07 January 2021 per diesel. Now we're paying more than €2, 10 cents approximately. It's even more than €2, 10 cents per liter. So,
It's even harder to.
so ask yourself how many families will be in poverty. So many people will be in poverty.
Yes, that's true.
You know, homelessness is at the moment is crazy in Dublin.
It is crazy.
So we need to start using our voices.
Athlone, it's crazy.
Even at Lon, yeah. So we need to start using our voices as a concerned citizens and humans.
I just remember there was a time in this country though where you actually know every homeless person on the street. Like you know their names, like you know the family they come from, like you know the history about them because they're actually characters even the homeless and people who had addictions, like they're seen as novel characters in society, like people like them and kind of looked after to a certain degree. Like, but like now because there's so many in the country, like it's pretty different essence, like no.
Yeah, it's quite shocking. We need to do something about it. We need to start peacefully assemble. Under Irish Constitution, Article 40.6, we have right to peacefully assemble without arms. You know, and we need to start organizing ourselves, I believe, for peaceful assembly, peaceful protest. Because look at the food prices at the moment in local stores. It's increased by 30%. You know, it's affect every single citizen in this country. You know, and this guy, he's actually tried to bring awareness for homeless people and cost of living. You know, I'm doing my self-campaign as well in front of GPO for the 10 days. You know, Paul Lennon is my name. So you believe that homelessness is designed by someone deliberately to make a lot of money? Charity organizations, for example, they make so instead of solving the homelessness in house, all the people who are homeless or provide them accommodation, you think they deliberately not try to provide them accommodation?
Yeah, because see the thing is, if they resolve the homeless crisis tomorrow, like that would be every single homeless group in the country would instantly close down, like because there wouldn't be a necessity for them anymore, and like they'd obviously possess like certain interests in maintaining and keeping the homeless there, like especially if there are CEOs getting €100,000 a year, €150,000 a year, €200,000 a year. Like it's just it's so cruel that like some person is driving a BMW on the basis of people's generosity to solve a pain of 10,000 people who are currently living on the street at the moment. It's cruel.
So you think that paying one person get paid, CEO get paid 200, at least €200,000 a year, and they consider helping people, charity organization. You believe that is wrong, is not acceptable, it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be because the charity organization get money from people who donate the money. They're dependent from the nation, and instead of spending this money on homeless people or people, vulnerable people, or people with disability, they spend themselves on paying high salary.
Yeah, but yeah, like it's just scary when you think about it. Like it's just like who creates that number of €150,000 a year? Like who turns around and tells that CEO, okay, the work you're doing is so good that we're going to pay €150,000 a year to help the homeless apparently. Like, and I very much doubt that the CEOs of these companies actually go out onto the street and actually help these people and feed them and clothe them. So when you think about like these mass campaigns that they're creating, like the millions that they spend on advertisements, like it's fundamentally only to pay the staff, like to pay the CEO, like because that charity group has to fundraise like €150,000 to €200,000 of people's charity donations, like before they'd even feed a homeless person or give them water or give them a blanket or some place to live. Like, so it's mad. Like.
All right.
So thank you for stopping, and it's very important that you stop and concern what's happening here, because you know maybe.
We thought maybe he had fallen.
No.
I know. I'm just resting.
Yeah, but
You're resting.
you're very good. You know why? Because anyone could be staying, and very good that you ask, "Are you okay?" It's very good. God bless you. You're very good humans. Yeah, be safe. So there are people who concern, as you can see. Yeah.
There's actually a few people now that actually
Yeah.
yeah, there's actually a few people that actually like going around it just make sure it's all right, like, but like it's good that people still do that, you know what I mean? But if I say the probably see me, it's just like I hope he's not raffling houses.
You've been involved yourself in the I heard that you've been involved in Dublin some kitchen soups in relating with homelessness. Could you tell us more about it, like?
Yeah, well, there's a group now, the Garden of Remembrance. They formed. It was during the lockdowns. They've been running now for the past 20 months, and what basically happened was, like, the government was shutting down like all of the soup run centres, closing down like all of the just places where the homeless could go and get a bit of food, or like just a bit of company during the lockdowns. And the one thing I noticed when I was walking through Dublin was like the only people who were actually out on the street were the homeless, like, because there's nobody going to work, there's no tourists, like there's nobody, like there wasn't that continuous traffic of daily life like going on in Dublin, like, so the only people who were on the street at the time were the homeless people. And that was when I actually started to recognise like how serious the problem was. Like I'd walk from Houston Station up to O'Connell Street, and I'd be stopped nearly 10 or 12 times, like just people begging, like saying, "Here, please, like you want to have a bit of spare change, like you want to have a bit of spare change," like, and it's just like, I looked at the situation, and I was just like, well, by having these lockdowns, like they're actually taking the means of a homeless person away. Like how is that person like supposed to like get a small bit of bob together, like just be able to buy themselves like a cup of tea or a bit of food, like to keep them alive? So by eliminating like the tourism industry, like people going to work and regular daily activities in Dublin City, like the people who were actually most profoundly affected for the homeless themselves. And like over the course of the lockdowns, like the homeless death figures reached record highs. So
basically they try to eliminate services like providing needs for food and the needs for water and like liquids. So it was eliminated during the 2 years of the COVID, is it 19? Like all was prohibited in the government levels to any kitchen soups to be run.
Yeah, there were some groups that were stopped anyways, like they weren't going out, like they weren't going out onto the streets or they weren't running the service like they normally would have. What happened was we were kind of coming together at that kind of point, like because like there was a few people who kind of recognised the issue, and then I decided to do the first walk from Galway to Dublin, and from there then like that kind of incentivised people to kind of come together and like just let's run like a group here at the Garden of Remembrance, like let's do this every single week. Like
you was a founder of that group, is it? You're the one who actually give idea and established a few people.
I was one of the founders. I'll be honest, like I haven't been up at the Garden as much recently due to like work commitments and stuff like that. Like, but like the people who were there like every single week, like Pauline, Ian, like Dahi, LA, John, like there's so many brilliant people there who keep that thing alive, and it's been operating now for the past 22 months. It's a safe zone for the homeless. The homeless come along, they feel as if they can express themselves, they can speak, they can trust us. They don't feel as if there's any other motives like behind it. Like we're only there to look after them, but at the same time, like we're making it very clear to them that like we don't want you on the street. Like we actually want to like resolve the homeless crisis. We want to end it. Like it's very easy resolvable. And
is the government helping in any way to suggest you, or maybe we can allocate some funds or some like shops offering you free food, like you try or the ordinary people bring in the food and give some donation, like whatever clothes donation or food donation, or like is it government help at all, or there's no help from the government at all? It's only people people funded.
Yeah, so like all of the food that's brought there on a weekly basis, like that's cooked up by Pauline, like David, like Louise
In their own kitchen.
Yeah, in their own kitchen, like through their own funds and all the rest. And like I kind of guess it was the reason why I was doing the walks then was because see at the time I didn't really have like any like proper income, but at the same time I wanted to help these people because like for one, like the country was in absolute limbo. Like things were closed down. Like there wasn't really much of a jobs market in the country. So, and then like it kind of transformed into a way of me being able to express myself, and I was able to help people at the same time.
So you want to create awareness, basically, that like there is a need, homeless people suffering and dying, and they need food and like clothes, and so you try to create awareness when you have these walks. That's when your first walk starts. That's what gives you a motive. So we're standing here with Alan. He is here. Sorry for light. We're standing with Alan. He's been in the middle of the road from Athlone, like, and it's very dark. So what time is now?
The time is 11:20.
20. As you can see, just for the video, just a little bit. For the camera. So now is the 11 o'clock 21 minutes, 20% of battery left. And Alan, so could you explain us what you did?
Okay, so that's the first recording there. So you keep going to the map here, and actually shows you the exact location where I left in Kilcoggan. So I left from the family home, walked through Crockville the first day.
And what time you started?
On that morning,
Yesterday.
Started at it was 7:15 in the morning.
Okay, it was 27th of June 2022. Alan started. So today is 28th of June 2022, and you can see how many kilometers he make.
30.33 kilometers, and I think that recording goes up as far as about 9:30 then. And then I received my bags and I walked into the middle of the country in the middle of the night, and I carried on an extra bit of recording on that, so there was 1080 on that, and then today an extra 20. So I have about 60 kilometres done, which is 30% of the walk, and I've about 140 kilometres remaining to do over the next 4 days. So it's a good start. Like it's a very good start. 60 kilometres in the first 2 days, 140 remaining, and I have 4 days to complete the remaining 140 kilometres.
So how is your legs actually today? Like, did you have some blisters?
I'll be honest, the feet are grand. Like I've no blisters or anything like that. What happened is like because my clothes got wet and because my equipment got wet, just from all the walking, just friction, fabric and the wetness of the clothes, I got a bit of a rash, and I have to treat that at the moment. I won't go into too much detail, but I say people can imagine where I got it, but it's just making it a bit more difficult, so you just have to treat that, just allow the inflammation just to go down, and once that's done I'll be able to fly into it again.
So today was more difficult for you than last day, or how you find it?
Yeah, see, when I started off this morning, where I slept last night was, it was like this little shed, kind of open kind of shed I think they were actually using to keep pigs in, and when I woke up, the whole thing just waterlogged, so I don't have a tent or anything like that. I just have a little kind of canvas that I lay down on the ground, and I lay in that, and then I pull the sleeping bag over me. But when I woke up, the whole canvas was completely waterlogged. I was soaked to the skin, all of my clothes were wet, and then like everything in my bag was wet as well, so like I couldn't even change into a dry pair of socks, or I couldn't change into a dry t-shirt or hoodie or anything. So I'd use my body heat then to effectively dry off the wet clothes that I was wearing, and so I did 30 kilometres like that.
Support Downs Mini, please. This campaign for sale, 28 days, 1,000 kilometers.